Rock stars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here, and today, oh yeah, we're gonna learn Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. Here with the trusty 58 Les Paul. I wish. It's a reissue. But nonetheless, I'm running this Les Paul through a Blues Junior. This is how I'm coming up with this tone today. I've had some of you ask about tone and how I'm coming up with certain tones and that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. There's a couple different things, variables in regards to this tune. This is going to be a two-part series. So in this first part, I'm going to show you how to play basically the whole tune with the exception of the solo. And I'm going to save that for a whole nother lesson because that's quite involved. Okay. All right. So again, I'm going through a Les Paul. These are Tim White's, kind of like the old school PAFs, running through a Blues Junior that's been modded. So it's not quite the same Blues Junior sound that you may be used to. And then I'm using an OCD pedal for that kind of Marshall-esque sound, okay? And it's distorted, it's not too distorted, you know? It's just kind of clean, but if I dig into it, there's a little bit of crunch there, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the main lick. You're going to need a slide, preferably, for this tune. We'll talk about that in a minute, too. Let's do lick 1, and then we'll go into lick 2, which will be the... So if we'll use a slide, you could just use your fingers. If you wanted to, it's not going to sound nearly as cool. Okay, so lick 1 is going to go something like this. For those of you that could just watch along, then check it out, and I'll explain it for those of you that might need a little bit more help. So it goes something like this. Okay, so basically what we're doing is this is all based off of strings 6, 5, and 4. We're doing this slide up on the low E string from somewhere in this area, it doesn't matter where, but usually maybe the 3rd or 4th fret. And you're going to slide up to the 7th fret of the low E string. And then you're going to toggle back and forth between the 5th fret of the A string, or the 5th string, and the B that is on the low E string. Okay, so you're going to do this. You're going to go. Now notice I'm releasing each one of those. I'm not doing this. I'm not going. That sounds weird because it gets all muddied and all the notes get thrown together. We don't want that. We want this. Okay. If you're doing a little bit of hand muting, that's okay. With the right hand, I basically have my, the meaty part of my palm there. Yes, I said meaty. Meaty part of my palm, also my balm. I don't know what that means. Right there on the 6th and 5th string, just kind of resting on the bridge a bit, just for that kind of rock sound, that kind of muted sound. If you need more help with muting, here on YouTube, type in YourGuitarSage muting. I've got videos on left and right hand muting for that. Okay, very important for rock guitar, okay? Okay, so after this, we're going to play this little power chord here, okay? And basically, if you were to put your first finger on the 7th fret of the A string, or the 5th string, and put your 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string. And you're just going to play that little guy right there. That's called a power chord. If you need help with that, I believe I have a video here on YouTube. I know I've made one. I might have made two. You could type in YourGuitarSage power chords, and it'll show up if I have one. I know I've got one. I just don't know if it's up yet. But if you need help with power chords, check that out. Or, better yet, hit the link below to the Unstoppable Guitar System, getting that whole system for $1. It's a soup to nuts, how to play guitar. There's advanced stuff, there's beginner stuff. It's step by step, you can't fail. That's why it's called Unstoppable. Check that out. I know I've got that video in there all about power chords and how to move them about the neck and that sort of thing. So you're going to play that, and all the while you're muting the other strings. So the only strings that you should be using for this is 6, 5, and 4. You're doing this by allowing the first finger to just lay across the strings as light as a feather. Okay, and I teach more of that in that power chords video. Now, we do this, and I say we, I mean me and Jimmy. We do this, it's called a pedal, and it's basically where you hit a note over and over again. And he's pedaling on the low E string like this. So notice, with my picking hand, I'm hitting 6 and or 5 and 4, and then 6. It sounds like a, I don't know, Native American drum beat or something. Ding, 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 ding. I'm weird like that. Okay, so you're gonna be, this by the way is an E power chord, and you're gonna be fluttering away on that low E. So. And I am muting that. It will sound bad if you're not muting it. It's going to sound like this. Or even if I, yeah, you just got to mute that low E string. You could use your pinky too for this power chord. You'll build up some speed to this. At first, your hand will feel really like stiff. You'll want to loosen up and do the speed that you're capable of today, okay? You get this speed over time, and it's out of accuracy, okay? Accuracy equals speed. You'll hear me say that a lot. It's not about how fast you can move your fingers. It's about how accurate you are, and that equals speed. But in regards to this, take it slow. You'll get there, okay? Now, let's talk about the second part, which is the got a whole lot of love. Okay, now, that's the actual sound of a cat. Also a slide on the finger. Now, you can play this with a slide on by just, with a slide on. Huh. I think I had one of those in high school. Anyhow, so, you know, this is your slide, and it's on your ring finger. That's where I put it. You could put it on your pinky. Probably don't want to do first or second finger. If you know anything about slide, don't do that. Third or fourth finger. You just get used to it. That's how you want to do it. There's theoretical reasons why that is. Anyhow, I like to do that because then I've got this nice stretch between my first and fourth finger, and I can do stuff like. So I could do both parts, right? So for this part, you just keep the slide out of the way. That takes a little getting used to, but you'll do it. You'll be able to. Now, for this, got a whole lot of love, for that part, what you're going to do is you're basically playing a D chord, but what I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb, I'm muting that low E string with my thumb mute. I have a video on that here on YouTube as well, I believe. Type in YourGuitarSage thumb. You'll probably find it. Oh, but don't mix it up with my YourGuitarSage thumb wrestling video, because it won't apply, okay? It's something about chords or something, all right? All right, so basically what you're doing is this guy's being muted, right? And then you're playing strings 5, 4, 3, and 2, and the first string is muted. I had the slide on there. the first string is muted, okay? So that when you, and I'm doing all upbeats on those. Okay, and then for the slide, you're going to do it somewhere around the 12th fret. Okay, and just lay that slide right on the 12th fret. Hit strings 2, 3, and 4. You could hit the, no, don't hit the first string. That sounds bad. 2, 3, and 4. If you end up getting 5, that's okay too. But really, 2, 3, and 4 are the ones that you're going to hear in there. Now, real quick little tip on slide, make sure that your second finger, or whatever finger, if you have it on your pinky, to make sure it's the third finger, but you would need a mute finger to lay behind the slide so that your slide sound is nice and clean, like, as opposed to this. I don't know if you can hear a difference there. I can, but basically you're hearing the strings rattle on either side of the slide. Of course, you want them to rattle over here. You want them to sing out. Otherwise, you wouldn't hear that. But you don't want them really rattling over here, because as this is going down in pitch, you're shortening the string length over here, and it's going up in pitch over here, and it creates harmonics that you don't want to hear and that sort of thing. So the short of it is, make sure you're muting when you're doing that. Okay. Now, so that's the second part. Now, there's one other part when he goes, woman. And that's basically just an E power chord again. And then we got the open A power chord, which is basically on the 5th string 0, and on the 4th and 3rd string 2 and 2. Or just 0 and 2. You don't have to play that top 2 if you don't want. And then it's back into the lick again. Right? It's easy. It's rock and roll. Anybody can play guitar. Seriously, anybody can play guitar if you put the time and the energy and the practice into it. You can. You could be as good as any player that you want to be. How do I know that? Because I used to suck, and I don't suck as bad anymore. I can do some things. And I see other guitar players that can do things I can't. I see guitar players that I can do things that they can't. We're all on a spectrum. We can all get better. And if we don't practice, we can get worse. So it's all about the practice, I promise you. And it's about good instruction. That's my job, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage. I'll teach you anything you need to know about guitar. Ask me questions about this song or anything about guitar on Facebook or Twitter, even here on YouTube. I'll try to help you out. I have a ton of free stuff for you, a free ebook at YourGuitarSage.com. Sign up for emails there. I give my books away as I write them. What? Books? Yes, books. I write books. I don't see any around right now, but I write books. And I give them away to those that are on my list, just as a thank you for being for being on my list. And I also send you basically good stuff, just solid good stuff. What else? Unstoppable Guitar System. Go there for $1. Get in that course. It's a super course worth thousands of dollars. You get in there for $1. Try it out for 2 weeks. If you don't like it, get the heck out. All right? What else can I help you with? That's about it. If you like the video, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe. As always, spay and neuter. Don't be a speciesist. Speciesist? I don't know what that means. Don't be into speciesism, huh? What that means is don't believe that humans are better than animals because we can build atomic bombs and stupid crap like that. Be kind to animals. Spay and neuter. Play your freaking guitar.